Hello YouTube, today I want to speak about the narcissistic and psychopathic tendencies and nature of sexism and racism. We want to observe this also inside the narcissistic psychopathic family cult. So if you see a family or a family cult-like structure, you might sense underlying hidden features of sexism and racism. I would claim that colonialism, which is basically almost synonymous with racism, is in itself a form of or an expression of narcissistic psychopathic mindset, because you need to be narcissistic, self-absorbed and delusional, as well as psychopathic, unempathetic and goal-driven, to colonize other countries and use other people for your purposes, and to be delusional like the narcissist and being goal-driven like the psychopath can be a little bit contradicting, I admit that, but the colonialists, the narcissists, the psychopath find a way to balance the delusion and the goal-drivenness out, even though both can also lead to their downfall. If they are too goal-driven, it shows that they're not morally aligned, and if they are too delusional, it shows that they are straight out crazy. How do we talk about this topic? I recommend to you to watch the movie, the Barbie movie, all right, with the real actors. Because when you watch this movie, you see the concept of screenwashing, which means you take the critic that exists about you, you know your own weakness, you take the critics of what could be most devastating to you, and then you make you reflect about this openly in a very rational, philosophic and satiric way. So you kind of take this point away from your opposition. This is called screenwashing, and that's the same what happens with sexism and racism today. The thing is, to speak of inverted racism or sexism, I will from now on speak only from racism, not of sexism anymore. But whenever I say racism, I also mean sexism, which means we have an assumption in our head that either or, as well as the gender and the place of birth or the color of the eyes or the color of the skin make a difference in the level of equality and quality of a human being. I don't repeat. So to speak of inverted racism, when we speak of a tendency of the past of history is now being turned around, is actually not politically correct, or in my opinion, from the language and the narrative point of view, is not correct, because racism is racism, no matter how you turn it. Same for that thing that I will not mention anymore. You don't have to invert it. If it is what it is, it is what it is. Inverted or not inverted does not matter, but there is a lot of people with a subconscious prejudice, which means they are infested with the colonial mindset. They are infested with the patriarchic mindset. It's so deep in themselves, it has been forged and hammered into them from generations, and Now they want to express that they understand what is morally right and want to act it out in reality in order to show that they are good, that they are not like that. And this is what I want to say when I speak of covert, inverted racism and its counterpart when we talk about genders. It means two things. One, it's always in a person. Racism can only be in a person, expressed by a person, be in the mind of a person, in the behavior. And this means this person is actually having an assumption. The assumption is there is a difference, and based on this assumption, I change my behavior. You see, when we look about political correctness in movies or political campaigns, you will always, over time it shifted. There's always one person with a certain color just for the picture. The same with movie casts. The same with everything. There's always, it from point of political correctness, they have to add this and that. And this comes from the assumption, it's also a recognition of that there was something wrong. Now we have to change it. The next step is to try to even it out. What is the next step? The next step would be we use quantum computing to create real random results and use these results to create real random situations. No, we have to get it out of our minds completely. Okay? So when I see a person, I do not assume that there is a difference in the quality of the person based on their gender or place of birth or color of the eyes or color of the skin. All right? Not in the quality. No. But of course I assume, okay, it could be that this person comes from this country, has this cultural influence. Of course, yeah, we have to make some assumptions, right? But this is not what I want to tell you is the difference is that you give the person the same chances and do not think in terms of quality. The quality is always the same. You look always in the eyes. And then you make your judgment. What the person shows you is what the person is, independently of any of that, right? So in these family cults that I'm talking about, and in people with this mindset of colonialism, colonialism is expressed narcissism and psychopathy, as I said in the beginning. We see people who have these assumptions, these spirits deep inside, and they want to act out on a stage that they are better. It's about a self-image. It's about proving oneself that one is better. How do you see whether it's real or not? You see it when you see the real family structure, when you see the biography, the long-term, when you need to be close to the person and experience it, and then you will see there is this structure that the assumption that they are superior, therefore they accumulate people around them that they think fit the script they have written to prove everybody that they are most of the times inverting this thing that is evil and wrong, but they don't do it in an authentic way by really just treating people equal and normal. No. When the light is on, when the audience is there, they will grandiosely show you how inclusive they are, how equal they treat everybody. But when the light is off, when the audience is gone. Who are you? What do you do here? What? Who are you even? Here I have a list. I have a list here, and this list says you have to do this because I'm your colonial master. I'm your master, and I know what you have to do because I have influence. I have bought you. Okay? I put in the money. So now I want you to do what I want. Okay? When the stage show, when the light is off, they show their true face. And this shows in a family structure. All right? It's the invisible child. These are invisible childs. They don't get the same. They are just there to show how inclusive, how politically correct, how a person inverts something that was bad back in the days. You know, we're so progressive. We're so progressive. You know, we're voting the correct parties. We're driving the correct car. Why? Yeah, we want to create an image of who we are. But we still follow. We are slave masters. Okay, that's the message. These people are slave masters that come with a superior perspective. And if people don't play the game where they are the masters, you know, it's about the stage show for the master. The master that is so correct and enables everybody and inverts all the bad things in the world. They invert all the sexism, I didn't want to say it again, and all the racism. Look how good we are. We invert all this. Oh, but when the light is off, when you don't look anymore, who's the master here? Who is the master? Who feels entitled? Who does not have the real potency to treat people equal? Who needs somebody to do the dirty work? Who needs somebody who is strong, who is capable, who is functioning, who can do it, who can climb the tree, who can cut the hedge, who can carry the logs and the boats? Yeah, it's in the table, right? You wrote it down. You have to do this. Why? Because you bought this person. You bought this person. And when all the people come around in a celebration, who is wearing the white collar shirt? Who is wearing the white collar vest? Who's want to make perfect pictures of the family cult, where everything is so fair, and the invisible children, the black sheep, the helper children, the golden child, everybody is put in a scene as if they were treated equal. As if they were treated equal. Oh, husband and wife. Everybody's bought. Everybody's influenced. Everybody has to be a codependent. And if you see the patterns as they are, if you say, why don't you treat these people equal? Why is these people so broken? Why are they so utterly impotent and have to prove some clownish, strange form of potency? Why don't they climb the trees themselves? Why don't they carry the boats? Why can't they cut the hedge? Why can't they do it? Why are they so incapable? And why do they then, if they are so incapable, act out the opposite? That looks ridiculous. If you have this point of view, you will be the next black sheep scapegoated that will leave this family unit. They need this. They need people to deflect on, and they do this with the capable ones who see who they are. Who see who they really are. Slave masters, colonialists, patriarchs, and more often than not, they just try to invert the same thing, but this does not make it change that it is racistic. Okay? Or they have, again, outside the shared fantasy, in reality, they present the political correct, woke side of it. But inside the shared fantasy, when the lights are out, when the doors of the cult are closed, they are the masters. They are the masters, the colonialist masters that bought everything And they will have to say where things go and how it goes. It's not for the people who are capable. It's not for the people who are capable. And yes, I will carry, I'm wearing a pant, don't worry. I'm independent, I'm dependent, I'm penned on. I carry the logs and the boats. I'm fully able to do this, okay? I'm climbing the tree, I'm cutting the tree. I'm doing these things, everything, okay? I'm there for my children, I supply for my children, I work for my children, I sacrifice for my children. But when the slave master is there, they want to harvest the fruits. I have planted the seed, I have planted the corn. But what do you think, who want to harvest it? Who want to make pictures of it and load them up on My Heritage, on Instagram? Who want to have the pictures of the family with the invisible children, with the helper children, with the golden child? It's transactional. You don't get access to the things that you have built. You're the only fertile, potent person in the cult. So you need to be dependent of the colonial slave master. If you wake up, if you speak up, that's the end. That's the end for you. You gotta go. You're a problem. We need inside the cult the weak, the infertile, and the impotent to rule. Because that's the structure in the subconsciousness. That is grandiosity rooted in fantasy, not in reality, and that is narcissism. And if the people who organize this and make the background work, the coercive control to support this narcissistic fantasy, these are the psychopaths. It's time to stand up, my brothers and sisters. It's time to see the truth, to see evil. You know, the biggest trick that the devil ever pulled was to make people believe that he does not exist. And he hides himself behind these inverted, covert tendencies of colonialism and patriarchism. It's screenwashing. It's brainwashing. It's not the truth. The truth is hidden. The system is for business. But I am not for business, right?